All right, the last chapter, chapter 12. Yay! Okay. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't profess to be one. I never will be one. Okay. But ethics and law are all kind of important. They do play catch up normally, but it's kind of important to know all this stuff basically so you minimize liabilities toward the organization. Okay. It says educate employees so they use proper use of information technology. Okay, a lot of laws out there about this. Laws are always being added and changed, but there is a bunch of it out there. Again, I don't do a lot in this area, but there are some out there. But ethics, on the other hand, ethics you need ethics, but it's not one of those things that they can, get you in trouble for. Okay. All right. It says the difference between laws and ethics is that law carries the sanction, ethics do not. Okay? Ethics are based on morals, cultural morals, so normally from your socioeconomic group. Okay? So must they understand the legal framework within an organization to operate. Okay? And that can change as well, but they can influence, depending on the type of organization it is. Some have more legal than others. Okay? There's civil law, criminal law, tort law, and in our school I know they got a class for each one of those. So I don't teach those classes, but it says relationships between and among individuals is normally civil. Criminal is harmful stuff, your felony type stuff. Okay, and tort, individuals seeking financial stuff. Okay, can't think of another way to say it. So all right. Also have private law, which can be family, commercial, stuff like that. And then public, which can be criminal, constitutional, stuff like that. Okay, so there's a lot of different laws, and they actually all pertain to this. Okay, I just don't go through them all. Okay, there are a lot of relevant laws. The Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, 1986, is an important one. Okay. Again, we're not going to go through them all, but it's been updated in 2001. Oh, the Patriot Act. Okay, that one was a big deal, and the Patriot Act's still going on. It got renewed, didn't it? Everyone know?
Yeah, it just got changed.
Okay, yeah. Just changed. Okay, all right, that's right. Reauthorized in 2005. Okay, Computer Security Act of '87. Okay, mandatory periodic training of computer security awareness. So that's kind of nice. They're actually requiring people to get trained in this area. Okay. They charge NIST. That could be one reason why NIST has so much stuff available now. It required them to update their standards and the guidelines, which, in my opinion, they've done a great job at. Okay.
That's only for government.
Right, but I mean, it's still available for us to use, though. They had to develop for government.
I mean, we can all use the training, but
Right. They have to train the government. I see what you're saying. Yes.
only applies to the training of the government.
Right. It doesn't require your school, Butler Community College training. Right.
This school.
Right. But the nice thing is they do develop the stuff that we can use. Okay. All right. So they develop a lot of stuff. Okay. Privacy laws, there's a lot of issue there. Not issues, but privacy is a big deal. I might be wrong on this, but I think I've read where a Social Security number, the proper way to destroy a Social Security number written on a piece of paper is rip it in 4 pieces. Is that correct? Does anyone know if that's true? The proper way to dispose of a Social Security number that's written on a piece of paper requires you to rip it into 4 pieces. What? I read that somewhere. I mean, that's what was required for proper disposal.
Top third, bottom.
I know. It's like it really, the odds of even ripping it at all. I read that somewhere. Again, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I heard that somewhere. But it's sounds bogus to me. Okay. Like it's not going to do anything. But the Privacy Act, you see so much about that on the military documents. But don't use information, don't give it out, that kind of stuff. In other words, don't be like Facebook. Okay. All right, Electronic Communications Act, which is all the stuff about wire electronic transmissions. Okay. HIPAA, yay, that basically medical. What?
Stop for just a second. Go back to
Oh, okay, on this one?
Yeah, just you really need to be aware that ECPA
Right.
can affect you as an individual. You can be personally liable
For anything I transmit?
violation under ECPA.
So you're saying anything I transmit electronically I could be personally liable for?
No, if you as an ISP or as a network administrator,
Right.
if you violate provisions of that.
Oh,
law,
okay.
you
Oh, I
can
see.
be
So,
personally-
yeah, as my job, if I violate, I could be, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, if you violated the provisions of that law in the course of your work willfully and with malice or whatever, you can be personally.
Cool. All right. Cool. All right. So, tough one. Okay, now HIPAA, standards for medical, health insurance type stuff. I don't know what's going to happen after the Obama law thing. I don't know. I'm assuming that's changing at that point. It's crazy, but okay. So it says requires organizations to retain healthcare information to use information security mechanisms to protect it. Okay. Have policies and everything in place for that. Okay. Guidelines for electronic signatures. Did you get that software installed?
Yeah, I got 6, and we can do more, but yeah,
Okay.
we got vServe client ready to go, so let's just go flood it and see what happens.
Okay. Do you want to do it right now?
Whenever.
Okay.
Whenever you're
Can we
ready.
finish this chapter, then we'll do it? Okay.
Okay.
And I'll bring it up on this computer too, so it'll be one more.
Okay,
So, all
perfect.
right, we'll see what happens. So, all right. So, privacy as it pertains to it, control of it. Google, man, a little while back, added a new option for medical data to be stored on Google. I don't know if it's even there anymore. I don't know anyone actually used it, but I see how that causes all kinds of problems. Okay, it tells you how they can use medical information. Okay, it says the balance of public responsibility for the use of medical information for the greater good. Okay. All right, the Financial Services Modernization Act, obviously to modernize our stuff, it talks about securities for banks and firms and stuff like that. Okay. I'm not going into these in depth. Export and espionage law. If these pertain to your company, obviously you need to know about them. I just talks about spying on other companies. So, excuse me, the Security and Freedoms Through Encryption Act. A lot of stuff there. The copyright law. Fair use allows material to be quoted as long as the purpose is educational and not for profit and the usage is not excessive. There you go. So I can use pictures off the internet now. As long as for educational use and I don't do it excessively. So, all right. But proper acknowledgement should be provided. Okay. All right. The Freedom of Information Act. I actually had someone call me a year ago from one of the news stations. Say they were trying to get information from DHS about the Freedom of Information Act and said it was about an employee who was supposedly communicating something to do with a case, but he was communicating through his home email. And I said, sorry, I mean, freedom of information is only going to pertain to his work email. You're not going to be able to get his home email because of that. But he was an employee of DHS. I said, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to say, I want his home information as well. So I don't know whatever came of that, but that's what it was. Okay. Sarbanes-Oxley is all about financial record keeping and reporting. Okay. All right. CEO and CFO assume direct and personal accountability for the completeness and accuracy of it. Okay. Got a whole nother issue with finances. Okay. All right. International trade law. Okay. There's a lot of that out there. It says many domestic laws and customs do not apply. I was over in Saudi Arabia multiple times, and over there, there's no copyright law. You can make a copy whatever you feel like. They don't care. Okay. Few international laws relate to privacy. There's like almost none. Okay. The European Council Cyber Crimes Convention. Never been there, but it talks about cyber crimes at the European area. Lots of problems in there. Okay. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act talks about privacy and piracy of copyright information, database right. There's just all kinds of laws out there. Storage. We have the professionals must understand law and regulation. Makes sense. Okay. The Georgia Computer Systems Protection Act. Okay. There's just tons of laws. The theft law requires businesses may not discard a record containing personal information unless it shreds, erases, modifies, or otherwise makes the information irretrievable. That's good. I wish more places would have that. I don't think we have anything like that. Policies versus laws. The policies must be distributed, readable, understood, acknowledged, enforced. Laws, on the other hand, not so much. Okay. It says, the ignorance of policy is an acceptable defense. I had no idea you had a whatever policy. I can see that happening. I didn't know there was a policy on such and such. But
That's why they have to acknowledge.
Yeah.
We give them the Privacy Act training, after they acknowledge.
Yeah, but the problem is, like at my school, I knew they published a new drug enforcement policy. I never signed anything saying I read it.
They didn't acknowledge it.
Right. So I guess I go do drugs now.
I guess so.
Yeah. Then afterwards, I say, oh, sorry, I didn't know about that. I thought it was normal.
I know in our organization, every 3 or 4 years, they update the drug policy.
Right.
And it's mandatory, everybody in the city's gotta go. 4
Nice.
hours. And then when you go to training, the last thing you do is you sign the acknowledgement.
That you went there. Okay. Yeah. We don't do the whole signing the acknowledgement part. Okay. All right. The student information security is not expected to study the topics of ethics. Okay. In a vacuum, but they should know it. I think ethics is a big deal. Ethics is a huge deal, actually. Okay.
One of the biggest areas that I've ran into more than once in an organization having to do with ethics
Right.
is when a supervisor will come to me and go, you know, I got this employee, I don't think they're doing their work, can you tell me what they're doing on the internet? And my answer is, and it always has been, no, I cannot. Because I think that although we have the capability
Right.
to monitor that type of thing,
That's
that's
privacy.
not the purpose, that's a supervisory problem, the person not working. Now,
But ethics is a big issue, but you're right. It's tough to work with. A lot of people don't understand it. Okay. Here's the 10 Commandments: Thou shalt not use a computer to harm another person. Okay. Interfere with other person's computer work. Snoop around in other person's computer files. There you go. That's one you were talking about. Use a computer to steal. Use a computer to bear false witness. Copy or use proprietary software for which you have not paid for. Okay. And use other people's computer resources without authorization or proper compensation. Okay. Or appropriate the people's intellectual output. Okay. In other words, to take their stuff. Okay. So makes sense. Those are really pretty good. Okay. It says the social consequences of programming you're writing, the system you're designing, can it affect people? Okay. Can other people get it? Okay. Use it in a way to ensure consideration and respect of fellow humans. What does that mean? It means I'm not going to throw it in the trash, or I don't know. It's just tough. Okay. Okay. It says ethics are not exclusively cultural, but they could be. Okay. I mean, some parts of it could be. It says found among individuals within the same social class, within the same company sometimes, because they do things differently. Okay. I was actually over in Saudi Arabia as a jet engine mechanic, and I don't know if you realize it, but they pray multiple times a day. Okay. I remember on the flight line there with AWACS, and next to us was Saudi Arabian pilot, brought his mat with him. Sure enough, when the time came, he literally on the wing of the aircraft, pointed his mat, prayed right there on the wing. That's,
he had a compass to figure out which way Mecca was.
I guess he did. He must have. He probably pulled out his smartphone and
Figured it out.
right there's
They
Mecca.
probably have an app for that.
They probably do now. But actually, they do have a compass, so we're good there. Okay. It says employees must be trained in the expected behavior of an ethical employee. Okay. So we don't receive training in that area, but we kind of do, but it's not formal training. Okay. It says you should do everything in your power to detect unethical and illegal activities using policies, education, training, and technology. Again, you go by policy. So if your organization does not care about pornography, then you don't use your technology to find it. We had a student in a class serving pornography once, and the lab supervisor found out about it, went to that guy's computer, printed off all the pictures he was looking at on full color in the printer, and brought it up to the instructor and said, look what the porn that they were surfing this and this and this, and that was a little excessive. Yeah, actually quite excessive. So yeah, it's tough. All right, categories of unethical behavior. Ignorance. I didn't know any better. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to take that home. Okay, accident. I accidentally deleted a file, or I accidentally looked at his email, or it could be under intent as well. I want to get after that guy. Okay. It says deterrence, the best method for preventing illegal activity. It could be law, policies, controls. Okay. All right, and here's some of the stuff. It says fear of penalty could be a reason why I'm not going to do it. I don't want to get arrested. Okay, probability of being caught. I could get caught, or probability of being administered, or punishment, whatever, probability of penalty being administered. So some of the reasons why we do this stuff, to have the stuff in place. Okay. Some have code of conduct, like the CISSP has a very large code of conduct. Actually, most organizations have one. I had my students, I think it was in my network security class, had them research the code of conduct for a few organizations. Some of them, one little short sentence. Other ones, like the CISSP, ISC squared, goes gory depth. So, code of conduct says members must follow. They have a positive effect on the judgment regarding their usage. Okay. They must also act ethically. And there are professional organizations and laws wherever they're working in. So, all right, ACM, a very large organization. It's probably, I think, one of the biggest ones. You can get really cheap educational memberships to it. It's really good because there's a lot of papers, a lot of research is up there. Okay, they have a code of ethics as well. So, code of ethics requires members to perform their duties in a manner befitting an ethical computer or computing professional. It's kind of vague, okay, but it's a good organization. ISC squared, here's the one for CISSP. Here's the four canons: protect society, the commonwealth, the infrastructure, act honorably, honestly, justly, responsibly, and legally, provide diligent and competent service to principals, advance and protect the profession. So that's a little more detailed, but it's definitely different. SANS, here's theirs. Actually, theirs requires respect to the public, respect for the certification, for your employer, and for yourself. Does it say how many people got that? No, it didn't say how many people. Okay. All right. Here's their code for the ISACA. Okay. Many of the high standards as the other organizations. It really doesn't say much other than that. Okay. This is, here it is. Support for implementation of and encourages compliance with appropriate standards, procedures, and information security controls. Perform duties with objectivity, due diligence, professional care, using professional standards and best practices, and serve in the interests of your stakeholder in a lawful and honest manner, maintaining high standards of conduct and character, and not engage in acts discreditable. Man, that's hard to discreditable. Discreditable. Just sounds weird. Okay, to their profession. Okay. We're not going to go through the rest of theirs there, but they have quite a few of them, which is actually pretty good. Okay. Nonprofit agencies, there's a lot of those, and quite a few of them are in this area, like InfraGuard's a nonprofit one. It is, isn't it? I think it's nonprofit. I'm pretty sure it's nonprofit. There's quite a few of them out there. They bring qualified practitioners together. Okay, there's quite a few. Promote management activities and will ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of organizational information and resources. So that's their ethics. Okay. It says organizational liability and needful counsel. Do you need a lawyer? What do you think? Yeah. Do every organization need a lawyer? I would say yes. Unless you're a very small company, there's always a need for a lawyer because I think they need to get paid. So, okay. And you can do it to obviously prosecute people. It says, what if an organization does not behave ethically? Prosecute them. Okay? It says an organization increases liability if it refuses to take measures, due care, to make sure the employee knows what is acceptable. If the organization didn't tell you how to act, then they're kind of responsible as well. Okay. All right, here's InfraGuard. Talks about that one. It says every FBI office has established an InfraGuard chapter in the area. We have one in Oklahoma City. Okay. Very good. It's free to colleges and corporates to join. I don't know if individuals can join. Not sure if you can. I think you have to join through a organization. Okay. NSA, National Security Agency, that's one up in D.C. It's a cryptographic organization. The U.S. Secret Service does a lot. I mean, I've visited Dr. Shnoy's area, and man, some of the stuff they do, and cell phone and money, it's pretty amazing stuff. Okay. All right. This is when, not if, an organization finds itself dealing with suspected policy or law violation, it says must appoint an individual to investigate it. Makes sense. Okay. All right. In order to protect it and to possibly a law enforcement act, it says the investigator must document what has happened. Okay. Forensics, There's medical and there's digital, but it's basically trying to figure out what happened, provide evidence, proof, what's going on. Okay, it's an investigation of what happened and how. Tough to do, but it's kind of fun. I think it's like a puzzle, so that's why I like doing it. Digital forensics, like regular forensics, follows clear, well-defined methodologies, but still tends to be much of an art as a science. Know what to look for, know where to look for, know how to get it. Okay. Evidence. What is evidence? Okay. It could be pretty much anything nowadays. It says any information that could potentially support the organization's legal or policy-based case against the subject. Okay. All right. It does not have to become evidence until you formally introduce it as well. Okay. Purposes of digital, it says investigate allegations of digital malfeasance or perform root cause analysis. What happened? With forensics, you don't always do it to get someone to go to jail. You figure what the heck went wrong. Okay. Okay. Protect and forget. Okay. So there's forensics. Search warrants and affidavits. It says an affidavit is a sworn testimony. It's normally in front of some law enforcement person. Okay. What happened? Okay. Search warrant is permission to search for something. Yeah, so there's the digital forensics methodology. Identify relevant items, acquire, seize the evidence without altering it, take steps to ensure it's kept safe, analyze the data, record your findings. All right, there you are. Okay. Oh, I missed one? Okay, all right. It says organizations should develop specific procedures, who may authorize it, what affidavit documents are required, what search warrants are required, and what to do with the evidence when it's taken. Okay. All right, a little more about evidence, and that's the end of this chapter. So, pretty short chapter. Okay. That was the shortest one out of all of them.